Did you know that an estimated 200 million people globally are suffering from pornography addiction, yet it remains an almost invisible epidemic? This is not a small number. It's more than the population of most countries. Yet, the conversation around it is hushed, almost as if it doesn't exist. But it does, and it's more prevalent than we care to admit. Let's look around. It's in our schools, our workplaces, and even in our homes. It's an issue that crosses all demographics, affecting people of all ages, genders, and backgrounds. Yet it's an epidemic that remains largely unseen, unspoken, and unaddressed. And like any other addiction, pornography addiction isn't a choice. It's a disease that creeps up on you, slowly consuming your life until it's all you can think about. It's a disease that can destroy relationships, careers, and lives. So, if pornography addiction is so prevalent, why do so many people struggle to break free? To comprehend the tenacity of this addiction, we must first understand the science behind it. Our brain, the command center of our body, is wired to seek pleasure. It's an evolutionary trait, a survival mechanism that has kept our species thriving. When we experience something pleasurable like a delicious meal or a warm hug, our brain rewards us by releasing a chemical called dopamine. This dopamine surge makes us feel good, and we naturally want to repeat the experience. Now imagine you're a rat in a maze. You're scurrying around exploring when you stumble upon a piece of cheese. The moment you take a bite, your brain releases a flood of dopamine. You feel fantastic. Your brain then creates a mental map, a neural pathway, linking the taste of cheese to this pleasurable feeling. The next time you're in the maze, you'll remember where you found the cheese and head straight for it. This is conditioned behavior, driven by your brain's reward system. But what happens when the pleasure is so intense, so overwhelming, that it overshadows everything else? That's where addiction comes in. When we indulge in highly stimulating activities, like watching pornography, our brain releases an avalanche of dopamine. This dopamine rush is so powerful that it can rewire our neural pathways, reinforcing the connection between the activity and the pleasure. Over time, this forms a strong, compulsive urge to seek out the source of pleasure again and again, even if it's detrimental to our well-being. And this is where the trap lies. Our brain, designed to seek pleasure, can become our own worst enemy. The neural pathways formed through repeated exposure to intense pleasure can become deeply ingrained, making it incredibly difficult to break free from the cycle of addiction. The brain, in its pursuit of pleasure, can become a trap, leading us down paths we never intended to tread. But how does pornography factor into this equation, you may ask? Well, let's delve into how pornography, similar to other addictive substances, can seize control of the brain's reward system. Imagine the brain as a complex city, with different areas responsible for different tasks. One of these areas is the reward system, a network of highways designed to make us feel good when we do something beneficial for our survival, like eating or socializing. Now let's introduce pornography into this city. Like a flashy, neon-lit billboard, it grabs the attention of the reward system, flooding it with a chemical called dopamine. This dopamine rush feels good, and the brain, always eager for more pleasure, starts craving for more and more of this stimulation. Here's the concept of novelty comes into play. The internet, with its endless variety of pornography, is like a never-ending buffet dinner. Each new video is a different dish, enticing the brain with its novelty. This constant of new material fuels the addiction, keeping the brain on a dopamine-fueled high. Just as in a buffet dinner where the variety of dishes can lead to overeating, the endless novelty available online can lead to overconsumption. The brain, not knowing when to stop, keeps craving for more, leading to a vicious cycle of addiction. In the buffet of the internet, it's all too easy to overindulge. But what can we do about it? Here's where our book titled Rewiring the Porn and Fap-Addicted Brain comes play. This book provides a neuroscience-based technique to help overcome porn and masturbation addiction. The link to get the book is in the description below. So don't despair, help is at hand. Rewire your brain, reclaim your life. In our book, Rewiring the Porn and Fap-Addicted Brain, we delve deeper into the neuroscience of addiction. This guide is designed to help you understand the complexities of your brain and how it can be manipulated by addictive behaviors. But it's more than just an exploration of the science involved. It's a roadmap to recovery. The book presents neuroscience-based techniques that can help you rewire your brain and break free from the cycle of addiction. It provides an in-depth understanding of how addiction influences your brain's reward system and how you can use this knowledge to your advantage. It's about learning to recognize your triggers, understanding the impact of dopamine on your brain, and finding ways to replace harmful behaviors with healthy ones. The practical steps and strategies outlined in the book are designed to guide you on your journey to recovery. They're not quick fixes, but they are effective, long-term solutions. The journey to recovery is a challenging one, but it's a journey worth undertaking. And with Rewiring the Porn and FAP-Addicted Brain as your guide, you're not undertaking that journey alone. The link to get the book is in the description below. It's a valuable resource for anyone struggling with this addiction, offering insights, guidance, and hope. So take the first step towards reclaiming your life. Start rewiring your brain today. The good news is that the brain is remarkably adaptable, and it's never too late to change our habits. Just as a mountain climber embarks on a challenging journey, so must we when breaking free from addiction. It's a process, a climb, and it requires patience, resilience, and determination. Let's take a moment to understand the mountain climber's journey. They don't reach the summit in one stride. The journey starts with a single step, then another and another. They understand their path. They know their triggers, the steep slopes, the slippery rocks. They have their tools, the ropes, the picks, the harness. They have their support, the fellow climbers, the guides, and they have their grit, their unyielding resolve to keep going, no matter how tough the climb. Now let's relate this to overcoming addiction. First, we need to understand our triggers, the emotional, environmental, and social cues that lead us back to the addictive behavior. Just as the climber recognizes the slippery rocks, we need to recognize our triggers and devise strategies to avoid or manage them. Second, seeking professional help can be as vital as a climber's tools. Therapists, counselors, and support groups can provide the necessary guidance, coping mechanisms, and understanding that can help us navigate the difficult terrain of addiction. They are our ropes, our picks, our harness. Third, fostering supportive relationships is as crucial as a climber's companions. Friends, family, and peers who understand our struggle and cheer us on can make a world of difference. They are our fellow climbers, our guides. Finally, the climber's grit translates into our own determination. We need to remind ourselves that every step, however small, is a step closer to the summit. A life free from addiction. Remember, the climb to recovery isn't a race. It's not about how quickly we reach the top, but rather about staying on the path, taking one step at a time and not giving up, no matter how steep the climb. Just as a mountain climber doesn't reach the summit in a single stride, overcoming addiction is a journey, not a destination. So, we've taken a journey into the science of addiction, the role of pornography, and the path towards recovery. We've seen how a seemingly harmless habit can escalate into an unseen epidemic, ensnaring countless individuals in its web. We've delved into the biological and psychological factors that fuel this addiction, revealing how pornography exploits our brain's reward system, making it so compelling and addictive. But we also explored the road to breaking free from this addiction. We discussed the importance of acknowledging the problem, seeking professional help, and building a supportive network. We stressed the crucial role of self-compassion, resilience, and determination in this journey. And while the road to recovery may be challenging, it's important to remember that it's a journey worth taking. Remember, the first step towards overcoming addiction is understanding it. You are not alone, and it's never too late to seek help.